Welcome to the midnight hour. Maya slammed her locker shut, the metal clang echoing through the deserted hallway. Rain lashed outside, blurring the retreating figure across the street. It was him, the guy in the black raincoat. He'd been an unsettling presence for weeks, a predator stalking its prey. Just that morning, she'd found a single black feather tucked under her windshield wiper, a silent, chilling message. Now, at Starbucks, she recognized him again, tucked into a corner booth, his back to her, pretending to be engrossed in his phone. Panicked, she forced down her latte. The lukewarm drink tasted like ashes. She downed it in a few desperate gulps, needing the warmth more than the caffeine. The mall, even with its chaotic energy, seemed a haven compared to the deserted hallway. But as she navigated the throngs of people, a voice sent chills down her spine. It was a raspy whisper, like ice cubes grinding together in a blender, cutting through the background chatter. Maya, it hissed her name. She spun around, heart hammering against her ribs, and her blood ran cold. He stood there, the guy from the street, his rain-soaked black raincoat plastered to his lanky frame. A toothy grin, devoid of warmth or humor, split his face. Maya, he purred, taking a step closer, let's talk. Her scream died in her throat, swallowed by the indifferent chatter of the crowd. His hand, slick and cold as a dead fish, reached out, missing her shoulder by a hair's breadth. He didn't touch her, not yet. But the message was clear, she was cornered, a trapped animal. Panic froze Maya in place. Her phone, clutched desperately in hand, displayed a horrifying message, no service. Trapped, she watched him melt into the throngs of people, the anonymity of the crowd his cloak. The once familiar, cheerful sounds of the mall, the piped-in music, the chatter of customers, the laughter of children, became a cacophony of terror. Every rustle of clothes, every mumbled conversation, sent shivers down her spine. Tears welled up in her eyes, blurring the reflections staring back at her from a passing display case. It wasn't the confident and sassy girl she knew anymore. Fear had painted a new image, a frightened and hunted creature. He was a dark stain on her world, growing bigger, consuming everything she knew. The rain continued outside, relentlessly washing away the dirt and grime of the city, but unable to wash away the terror that had taken root in Maya's heart. The mall wasn't just a place to hang out with friends or grab a quick bite anymore. It was a battleground, and Maya was alone, unarmed, and utterly terrified. She had to find a way out, a way to escape him, to escape the fear that threatened to consume her whole. But how? Where could she go where he wouldn't follow? Suddenly, a flicker of recognition. The security office. A desperate gamble, but it was her only shot. Weaving through the crowd, Maya felt his gaze prickle her skin, a predator tracking its prey. She didn't dare look back, fear propelling her forward. Bursting into the security office, she found a lone guard engrossed in a game on his computer. "Help me," she gasped, voice raw with terror. "There's a man following me." The guard, startled, looked up, very confused. Maya blurted out a description of the man, her words tumbling over each other. The guard, finally grasping the situation, sprung into action. He called over his walkie-talkie, a flurry of urgent chatter filling the air. Maya sank into a chair, chest heaving, the adrenaline slowly draining away, leaving behind a hollowness of exhaustion and fear. But as the security guards, alerted by the radio call, converged on the mall entrance, their eyes scanning the crowd, a sliver of hope flickered in Maya's chest. Maybe, just maybe, this nightmare was finally ending. Sarah slammed the metal shutters of the Starbucks shut, the clang echoing in the deserted street like a gunshot. Rain lashed against the windows, blurring the neon glow of the closed sign. Another night shift over, another night alone with the hiss of the espresso machine and the building's creaks for company. The walk home was cold with the wind and flickering streetlights. Unlocking her apartment door, she flipped on the light switch. For a second, her heart stuttered. The room looked weird and different. Like someone had rearranged the furniture in the twilight zone. It was the paintings. An assortment of cheap art picked up from thrift stores, usually ignored in the dim lighting. Now, however, they seemed intense. One with a bowl of fruit seemed to have a single black and glossy eye staring at her. Like a creepy olive pit. Sarah blinked, sure it was fatigue messing with her head. Stepping closer, she squinted. Nope, definitely an eye. And what the heck? There was a second one now which reflecting the dim light with an unsettling glow. A choked laugh escaped her lips. Had they always moved? Panic started to bubble in her stomach, as fizzy as a cheap soda. Every picture frame in the apartment became a portal to a nightmare. Black, watchful eyes stared out from landscapes, portraits, and even an abstract swirl of paint that now seemed to resemble a disembodied, grinning mouth. The warmth of the apartment evaporated, replaced by a suffocating chill that gnawed at her bones. Then, a sound. A deep, rumbling chuckle that echoed from everywhere. The room felt heavy, the air thick and stale like a forgotten gym sock. Even the shadows seemed to writhe on the walls, like something unseen was playing with them, twisting them into grotesque shapes that mocked her with each flicker of the overhead light. Suddenly, Sarah's phone being on the charger across the room felt incredibly ironic. There was no way she was getting to it now. Tears welled up in her eyes, blurring the already horrifying scene. This had to be a prank, a messed up screensaver situation gone viral. But the stale, decaying smell that filled her nose was a terrifying reminder of reality. It wasn't the comforting scent of her lavender-scented laundry detergent, it was the smell of damp earth and something far more unsettling, decay. Desperation clawed at her throat. She lunged for the door, scrambling to escape the possessed paintings, the creepy shadows, the suffocating air. But the doorknob wouldn't budge. Stuck. Great. Just freaking great. A lone painting, a portrait of a woman with a melancholic expression, but seriously, who paints those, detached itself from the wall and started floating towards her. The black eyes glinted with a cold, predatory hunger. Unlike the others, this one seemed to hold a twisted smile, its lips stretched impossibly wide in a silent scream. Sarah let out a shriek, primal, high-pitched, and probably heard all the way to next Tuesday. There was nowhere to run, no escape from the silent screaming faces on the wall. Tonight, her cozy apartment had become a horror movie set, and she was the popcorn-munching victim with nowhere to hide. But unlike the movies, there was no witty hero about to burst through the window. Just her, the paintings, and the growing realization that the only escape might be the darkness those eyes promised. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and comment.